Hello again, the Premier League and the Championship's back this weekend, of course, thank goodness for that. So is Facebook Live. Paul Merson's with me once again. We look at the matches of the weekend in a moment or two. One or two issues, of course. Wayne Rooney out drinking till whatever time in the morning. Who could imagine, Merce, a professional footballer, doing something like that, being so irresponsible?
I don't know how they do it. It beats me. He was told. I didn't even have to be told.
Look, is this a sort of mountain out of a molehill job, you know? I mean, he's entitled to some downtime, isn't he?
I think so. I mean, I have a big thing with this, Jeff. I mean, you know, they say, oh, these players, they're all in their bubble. They live behind their gates and they don't interact with the fans anymore. They're a million miles away. And then Wayne Rooney goes into a wedding, makes their wedding, having pictures, and then all of a sudden he's absolutely slaughtered for it. I mean, for me, he knew he weren't playing on the Tuesday. I didn't see a problem, but that's me.
And trust me, that is what you call expert opinion. Look, if you've got any questions for Mercer or myself, do let us know. We're with you for the next 15 minutes or so. Manchester United against Arsenal then gets us underway at the weekend's fantastic way to start, isn't it? I mean, look, all sorts of stories over the last couple of weeks coming out of Manchester United, with Mourinho questioning the injuries to Chris Smalling and also his young fullback as well. And, Luke Shaw. He might be right or he might be wrong, but you just wonder what effect that will have on players in the dressing room.
Well, it all comes down to this weekend for me. I mean, they went and beat Swansea, who are not very good, if we're being honest at the moment. But if they go and beat Arsenal, then I think it's not a problem. If they don't beat Arsenal, Jeff, I think it's one of them situations where the players will start going the other way. For me, I think Man United will be right. I think that will be their title challenge over and done with. I think people can go, oh, they can win 7 on the trot, but so can all the other teams now. So for me, it's a big football match for both teams.
Yeah, I wonder who's the bigger miss here, because obviously Ibrahimovic out for United, but Bellerin is out for Arsenal as well. You know, who's the most important?
I would probably say Bellerin, because I think Rashford play up front, play centre forward. You know, we see what he done to Arsenal last season. In his pace will hurt Arsenal. There's no doubt about that. And I think the two centre-halves would have rather played against Zlatan, if I'm being honest, than Rashford's pace.
I mean, this is a big test for Arsenal, isn't it? We all know that Arsenal have a fantastic run, you know, but it's when it comes to the big games that they've got to prove that they are real title contenders.
Well, I think so. I think this is a massive game for them. I mean, you look at it last year, it was a situation a bit like this year. You know, they just had to turn up last year, make sure they didn't forget their boots and they were going to win, and they got beat 3-2. You know, we see it with Arsenal, you know, and throughout what a great run they're on, they've still got that big question for me is, can they do it consistently? And in big football matches, most of the time, you know, they don't. So for me, big football match for both teams. If Arsenal win this, you have to say they've got every chance of winning the Premier League.
Will they?
No, I don't think so.
Don't think so?
No, I don't. I think it'll be a draw. I just think Mourinho has this over Wenger. It's a lot of games now. It must make a difference. And I just think Sanchez, a lot of travelling. Probably got back today or late last night. 7-8 hours time difference.
Still having a look at him, I think, to see whether he's ready.
Yeah, and for me, if he doesn't play, I just think they're a completely different team. You know, Ozil can find anybody when Sanchez is in the team. I think if Giroud plays in the team, again, it become a bit paceless for me.
Okay, it's the first of our six-a-side fantasy six-a-side matches for the weekend. So what's your six-a-side team?
Well, my elite player's Ozil, and I've picked him. He's had a rest. All the other players have probably been on international duty. He's had a 2-week rest, and I think he's different class. I've gone for Iwobi and Ramsey and Walcott from Arsenal, because I think they make runs and they get beyond. And then for Man United, I've gone for Rashford. I think has to play in this game, in my opinion, and Herrera. You know, for Man United, who gets on the ball and plays, and I just think a very cagey tight game.
Leon Grant, by the way, says would love to see Mata and De Bruyne back at Chelsea, and Obi, Mikel and Oscar out. I bet you would as well, Leon. I think the manager would too, to be brutally honest. But there we go. Look, let's talk about the Saturday 3 o'clock, shall we? Manchester City, 6 points out of the last 15 in the Premier League. They go to a Palace side who've slipped right down the table, making loads of chances, but can't keep the ball out of their own net.
Yeah, I mean, Alan Pardew's, he has this in his locker, doesn't he? He can win 6 on the trot and lose 6 on the trot, and they're in that again this time round. I think they've lost 4 on the trot, and when it went 2-2 against Burnley, it looked like there was only going to be one winner, and that was Palace, and they got beat in the end. So I'd expect Man City to win this game, in my opinion. I think they have to win. I think, I just think it's so tight up the top now. I don't think you can have a bad week. I think 2 bad weeks, and you're playing big catch up. So big football game again. There's some massive football games at 3:00 this weekend, which is unusual. Unusual at 3:00.
It is, and of course it's after an international break. Particularly a team like City. I mean, their players have been spread all over the world, not Europe, all over the world. Just wonder what effect it might have.
Well, that is a good case. I mean, and this is where I think Liverpool have the big advantage. Them and Chelsea are playing once a week, because they can play their players in this game, Jeff, and then say, "I'll see you next Wednesday. I'll see you next Tuesday." Give them 3 days off, and give them a rest. Man City and Arsenal, in the back of their mind, they still got Champions League on Wednesday, and Arsenal have to win their group, because we've seen what's happened over the time. So it's a big cause. I'd like Pep Guardiola to play his best team. I know Aguero was subbed and not used the other day, but again, it's a lot of travelling, a lot of travelling.
City your pick for the league, or would you go elsewhere? Carl Woolford's been asking about it.
People ask me this. I'd lay any team. I'd lay any team to win it, because I'd have all the other teams. But being a Chelsea fan, I'd be disappointed if Chelsea finished above Man City and didn't win the Premier League.
Okay. Everton take on Swansea. Swansea heading absolutely in the wrong direction, aren't they? I mean, that performance against Manchester United had to be one of the worst of the season by a Premier League side, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. And they weren't too great the week before against Stoke. So, for me, I think they're struggling. Again, how much say has Bob Bradley got? He just put Paul Williams in from the under-20s England. I might be wrong here, but I can't see them two being mates. I don't think it's one of them where he's turned around and gone, "Oh, I want him." That might have been the board's decision, and when that happens, that don't help anybody.
Liverpool got to Southampton. Before we talk about the match, actually, Douglas James Horn has just asked a question. Steven Gerrard as MK Don's boss. Discuss.
Yeah, I mean, they've said he's had talks over the weekend. Difficult. I've done it before. It's a hard job. He hasn't played in them leagues before. If he does take it, his number 2 has to be very special, in my opinion, who knows that league, who's been around that league, not someone who's played at Liverpool for 15 years, who's a mate. Got to be someone who's played in them leagues. But you want people like Steven Gerrard in the game. You don't want them kind of people wasted, not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough job. Carl Robinson will tell you just
and he's a good manager. He's a very good manager, and it was difficult.
Okay, so back to St Mary's then. Southampton against Southampton Old Boys.
It's a scouting mission, isn't it?
Well, if it's a scouting mission. There's no question that they're going to be watching, because the Southampton central defensive partnership are as good as anybody just about in that division, aren't they? Van Dijk in particular. But they'll need to be against this Liverpool attack.
Well, my biggest problem with playing Liverpool, the goals come from everywhere. Someone said to me, "Who would you go first goal?" I mean, you could literally pick 5-6 players, which is some going for a team like Liverpool to do that. I think they're playing Southampton at the right time. I mean, had a shocking result at Hull the other week. I shouldn't have lost that. Chelsea ripped them to shreds. They got the Europa next week. Probably in the back of their mind. They're playing Southampton for me at the right time, but still a difficult game. But I just think Liverpool at the moment are unstoppable.
This might not take you long to answer this one. Jimbo Smith says, Sturridge or Firmino?
Today, I'd go Firmino today, but for me, I'm still a big fan of Sturridge. I think there's a lot more for him to do at Liverpool. I think if they're going to win the league, I think Sturridge will play a massive part, because I just don't think that them 3 up front can keep on going the way they are. If they do, they'll get 70 goals.
Stoke against Bournemouth. Tony Gaffney says, so do you think Harry Arter should definitely start the next England game, Lance? He's having a bit of a laugh, because Harry Arter was available to England until he started for the Republic of Ireland, and he was absolutely fantastic for them as well, by the way.
I've watched a lot of Bournemouth. He's a good player. I missed the trick at England, but he plays for Bournemouth, doesn't he? If he'd have played for Man United, he'd have played for England.
Bournemouth go to Stoke at the wrong time.
Yeah, I think Stoke could definitely turn the corner. I think it's 2 months without a defeat now for Stoke. I mean, and all their good players have all hit form. I thought Charlie Adam the other week, to be out that long and come in and play the way he did was, for me, phenomenal. But Yeah, I mean, you look at Bournemouth, they won 3 on the trot, they go and get beat at Middlesbrough, and then they lose at home to Sunderland. And from being a lovely season, middle of the table, they're back in a relegation battle again. So, and I don't expect them to beat Stoke, so they'll be right back in it.
Okay. Sunderland against Hull. So Sunderland turned the corner with that win at Bournemouth?
You'd like to think so. I think if you could pick one game that you could play this week, it would be Hull at home after they've just won that game. I mean, Hull had a great result, don't get me wrong, at Southampton. Phenomenal football result at home. But I just think the 2 up front makes a difference. If they can keep Anichebe fit, with him and Defoe up front, I mean, they will score goals. They will score. And I expect them just to win this football match. They have to win. They're 6 points adrift. If they start getting 9 points adrift, I mean, you're relegated already.
I tell you what, there have been some great goalkeeping performances this season, haven't there? But Jordan Pickford at Bournemouth was absolutely exceptional again.
Well, absolutely outstanding. And the other lad was fit and back on the bench again. So that just shows you how well he's doing. And he made a save in the 89th minute, which was absolutely phenomenal, out the top drawer. And yeah, he's been absolutely outstanding for Sunderland.
Watford against Leicester. Look, I mean, Leicester are 2 points off the relegation places, you know. I mean, it's a bit scary, isn't it, if you're a Leicester fan?
Well, definitely. I mean, and they'll have one eye on next week, Champions League, because they'll want to win that group very quickly and top it and get it out of the way. But I've gone for a draw here. I don't really see a lot between these two teams, which is unusual. I just think Leicester at the moment, I just think Leicester are playing the way these players have played for probably all of their careers, bar 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's happened. They've had an unbelievable year, and it's back to, you know, the blocks now, Morgan and Hoof, you know, them shots are not hitting them anymore. They're going through their legs and going in the corner, but they've won the Premier League. You can never ever take that away from them. So fair play. I mean, fair play to them. I mean, they were never going to win it again. I mean, I've seen great teams not be able to reproduce and win the league again after they've won it. So, for me, I think if they stay up and have a good run,
Julie Brooks says Leicester will finish mid-table. She's probably right, isn't she?
Yeah, around mid-table, just below, I would say, just below.
Ruari White says, was the cameraman on the beer last night? Were you? Were you on the beer last night?
I had a couple, yeah.
You had a couple. You know. It wasn't Rooney-esque, to tell you that, but he had a couple. So go on then, what's your Super 6 predictions then,
My Super 6, glasses, getting old. Right, I've gone for Hull, Sunderland 2, Hull 1, Watford 1, Leicester 1, Palace 1, Man City 3, Everton 3, Swansea 0, and Southampton 1, Liverpool 3.
Okay. For what it's worth, somebody asked, by the way, when was the last time any of the panel got the Super 6 right? And the answer is, in our dreams. Absolutely in our dreams. I just got a feeling there could be an upset at Selhurst Park. I don't know why. You know, they're great going forward. I think Zaha can give the City defence some problems, and they've been scattered all over the world, have City. I'm going to go for Palace to beat City 2-1. It'll be a real coupon bust right now. Everton to beat Swansea 3-0. Liverpool to win at Southampton 3-1. Stoke to beat Bournemouth 2-0. Sunderland to beat Hull 2-1. And I know Hull have got a good record at Sunderland, by the way. And I think the Leicester will be good enough to nick it at Watford. Watford might struggle after that 6-goal beating at Liverpool. Leicester to win by 2-1 for me. Which brings us round to Sunday. Borough against Chelsea. I know a lot of people have this down as an away banter. Chelsea absolutely flying at the moment, but Middlesbrough shown against Arsenal, against Manchester City, they can live with the big boys.
Well, yeah, and they have. They've stayed in games. I mean, they had better chances than Arsenal in that game, and all right, they snatched it against Man City, but they stayed in the game, Jeff, and it was only 1-0, and they got the late goal. The game for me was Bournemouth when they beat Bournemouth, who was on a good run. Did Chelsea need the 2-week break? Probably not.
No.
They had that momentum. They were flying. It will take its toll. Again, they got players all over the world playing football. I just expect them just to beat Middlesbrough. I still think it'll be a difficult game, but you know, I think they'll just have too much for them.
Yeah, you know, the thing that impresses me most about Conte is that players who've been on the fringes in the past, obviously Victor Moses is one, Matic last season, if you like, as well, and Pedro as well now, and he's getting a right tune out of them all.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I'm a big fan of the manager. I think the problem he's going to have is he needs to, with his wing backs. His wing backs, I mean, that's a graveyard shift. That's a hard job. That is going up and down. You're playing full back, and then you're playing right wing or left wing, and then back again, and that takes its toll as the season goes on. But at the moment, they're all putting in a shift. They all know what they're doing. David Luiz looks looks like Beckenbauer at the moment. He does. I mean, he's got the protection. If he makes a mistake, there's still 2 other defenders there. So it's working a treat for him. And at the moment, if they can keep the momentum going, they'll be the team.
Cletus McClement says, should we play Oxlade-Chamberlain at right back from an Arsenal perspective, to cope with the quick players that they've got up front?
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. It depends, Jeff. Really got wingers, have they? It depends. If they do play, if he did play when and played Oxlade-Chamberlain there, I mean, Mourinho's kind of person that would make a sub within 2 minutes and put Martial out there and probably rip Oxlade-Chamberlain to shreds. So, for me, I would say no.
Okay. Before we take a step forward to Monday night, let's take a step back to the late game on Saturday, Spurs against West Ham. Somebody asked me a little bit earlier on, will West Ham turn the corner this season? I mean, will they turn the corner? Or is this where they're going to be in or around all season long?
I think they will be around there all season long. I don't think they'll turn it. I think the Payet thing won't go away. I think that'll be interesting come January. And it's such a hard league. And
he's got to be tempted, hasn't he?
Oh.
He goes away with his teammates for France and such like, and he's playing for a side who are 4th bottom of the Premier League at the moment.
Definitely, and managers would have said to their players, have a word with Payet, see if he fancies coming. That's how it works. You get tapped up. I had it a million times when I was away with England players getting tapped up by other players. Yeah. I worry for West Ham. I really do. I mean, you look at them and they're not 4th bottom for no reason. They're 4th bottom because they're not very good at the moment. And another hard game here against Tottenham, and they could be in the bottom 3 by the end of the weekend.
Braden Vallis, I hope I pronounced that right, said, where would he go to, Payet?
That's another problem. Where would he go? Who would take him? He's nearly 30 now. He's going to cost what, 20-30 million pound with his wages. It's a 50 million pound job, that is, and there's no sell on there at all. We've seen it with Van Persie at Man United. They done it, just to win the league. So might be one of the top teams that might take him.
I mean, from the other point of view, Spurs. Pochettino's got to be concerned about the lack of goals. I mean, hasn't scored from open play in 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, they keep on nicking points and they keep on drawing games. Yeah. They might look at that and say they'll mount up at the end of the season them vital points. I thought they were all right at the Emirates. I thought for 30 minutes I thought they were the better team, and then Arsenal didn't need half time, and then they come back out, and I thought it was an even game. I mean, for me, Dembele is one of the best players in the league, in my opinion. And if you look at him and Kane's record when they played together, I think they're 25 games undefeated when they both played together. I expect them to beat West Ham. They don't like each other, these two teams, and I think if Tottenham could win this game, and then I think they'll be flying back up the league again.
Okay. Monday Night Football's West Brom against Burnley. Burnley doing better than a lot of people expected, by the way. But there's been a lot to like about West Brom lately, particularly in that performance against Leicester. And Matt Phillips, who's a bit of a forgotten man, showed he could be a match winner on this day.
Yeah, I don't think he's done enough, if I've been honest, in his career. I think he's a good player. I like him. He's a good winger. He beats players. He just plays on the fringe of the game for me, and I just think hopefully this will kick-start him and to go on and fill his potential, because for me he's a decent player. I think this will be a good game. I do. I mean, people looking at West Brom, Burnley. I think it'll be an open game. Burnley will highlight this game as a must-win, and West Brom will. And I think both teams will have a go in this game. And West Brom should have a go. I mean, they've got some good players. I mean, McLean, he's on fire. I mean, the lad's playing full of confidence. Rondon's a good player.
Morrison's fit again.
Morrison's fit. I mean, you've got Brunt, who's probably got the best left foot in the Premier League, in my opinion. So I expect this to be a humdinger, believe it or not.
Okay. A couple of questions in the time we got. Josh Waters, Coutinho continually linked with a move to Barcelona. Could you see that happening?
No, I don't. I think them three, it would be very difficult to oust them three, Messi, Neymar and Suarez, unless Suarez is going somewhere else. But I don't see Messi and Neymar going anywhere. So unless Man United are buying Suarez for a lot of money, no, I don't see that happening.
If Liverpool make the top 4, I missed the caller's name, sorry. But if Liverpool make the top 4, who misses out?
Well, I think it'd be Man City, Chelsea. No, it'd be Tottenham, Man United. I don't see. I think if Man United don't win on Sun. If they get beat tomorrow afternoon, I think I don't give them a chance of getting in the top 4.
Not Leon Grant. Jamie Sweeney, Depay and Fellaini on their way out at Manchester United. Well, Depay, I think certainly will be, won't he? But you know, Josie seems to like Fellaini.
Yeah, he always plays, doesn't he? I think he'll stay, but I think Pie will definitely go. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, out of time. Sorry, boys. Don't forget to get your Fantasy Six-a-side team in. Don't forget, give it a go at Super 6. And join us again midday Saturday for Soccer Saturday.